Hello and welcome to Uncommon Success. My name is Jeff Pfeiffer and this is my lovely daughter Rachel.
Hi, we want to share with you our story about how we started the businesses that we started. We are serial entrepreneurs and we want to encourage the listeners, which is you, that you can start a business from nothing without knowing much about an industry. And we will share our stories and also interview other people that we know who also own businesses. We hope this is an encouragement for you.
Hey, welcome back to Uncommon Success. I have a question there, girl.
Okay.
Do you have an agenda?
No.
Because I had an agenda 2 weeks ago and it was awesome. I mean, it was like one of the best. And she just ripped me apart saying, it was bad, Dad. You need a better agenda. So I don't see any piece of paper there.
The agenda is no.
You don't have an agenda, huh?
The agenda is no.
Well, yeah,
That's
you need to have one, though. You need an agenda. You said you were going to have one today.
Our discussion for today is when to say no.
Oh, I get it.
Oh.
Okay.
So sometimes in personal life, you need to say no to things, even good things.
Yes.
And in business, you need to say no to even good things. I mean, a lot of times we get business ideas sent our way, or we'll be on LoopNet, if you've never heard of it, where you buy businesses. And you and I are very good about being, wow, that could be a good business idea. And then our brains go crazy. And,
Just yesterday,
oh boy,
we drove to Harrisburg, and we're on a 4-lane highway, and there on the right side of the road is this motel. It has the cutest little bungalows. They were painted nice. They were so cute, and I'm thinking, boy, that would be neat to own that. And then you sort of reminded me that probably wouldn't be. I mean, think about it. I mean, it'd be neat. I used to want to own a trailer park.
why?
Yeah. I don't know, for some reason.
Wait.
Yeah.
As a kid, you lived in a trailer.
I know.
So maybe that's why.
It wasn't in a park, though. It
was on country land. But I mean, for you, it's not.
Probably because my dad probably said, "Oh, that would be a good investment." Yeah, own a trailer. Probably. I don't know.
Okay,
but then I think about it, and it's like, so say we own a motel, like we saw. Well, it's like, so you could get people who are criminals trying to find a place to hide from the law.
Oh, that's great.
You get marital breakups or problems, so one spouse is trying to get away from the other, then the other spouse comes and you got those issues going on. Could happen in a trailer park too.
Or you could just get a traveler needing a bed to stay in.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, but maybe they have bed bugs, and there are people, they might have lice, and there are people, hey, I'm just saying.
This is true. These are all the negative things about owning a motel.
Yeah. And so, we process that, and it's like, no, I don't think I want to do that.
We didn't go down that trail in the car.
No.
I said, we have enough going on.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, like you say, we can be intrigued by things. Like I was talking with somebody, I was at an event and sitting next to this guy I'd never met before, and he says, I have an airport for sale.
Stop.
I thought, an airport? That would be cool.
That's on your list of things to do and own.
And I talked with a guy who owned a golf course, an 18-hole golf course. And then we went to see a miniature golf with...
It had bumper boats.
And different things. It had batting cages, driving range.
It needed a lot of work.
We thought about it. It was too far away, too.
And the reason we went to look at that was when we were hoping to find a place to do our corn maze business.
Yeah.
That's why we went, was for the corn maze. And then it's like, oh, look at all the extras.
We could have done the corn maze and other stuff, which could have worked. But it was too remote where there just aren't enough people.
Yeah.
We might have more deer going through the cornfield than people, and deer don't pay when they go through. They just ruin it. Mm-hmm. So there are times we need to say no.
Yeah. So that brings us to today's topic.
All right.
I don't know how we're gonna spread this out over a 25-minute podcast.
Oh, I got stuff, man.
But all right.
Yeah. Some people need to say no to self. And that's me, like my desires. I like to own this. I like to own that. Just try a new business. So I need to say no to self.
Okay.
But then there are people who need to say no to other people. Mm-hmm. Like there are people who have big hearts and they just care and they're compassionate. They want to help everybody.
Yeah.
And they try to help this person and that person and that person. They end up getting burned out. Mm-hmm. And then, like for me, it's more of saying no to my ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that you really get both. So you need to look at your personality. If you're the kind of person who likes to help others and serve others, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. But you need to make sure that your circumstances aren't dictating your life.
Yes.
You need to choose what you want your life to be.
Yes.
And so like with us, so the philosophy that I teach with people is that it's important to be 2 inches wide and a mile deep at whatever it is you're doing. Meaning, stick with just a few things. Don't have don't have a golf course and driving range and a race car track.
Coming from a man we have how many businesses?
There's just 3 right now, but I've selling 1, and
Yes.
we're trying to sell 2.
We sold a business.
Yeah, and so
Yes.
like I said, keep it narrow. Don't have 12 businesses. Have 3.
Okay.
Okay, and so then be really good at those, and meaning you're really deep. You're good at it. Don't tinker in a bunch of different things, because then you'll never really be successful at anything.
Yeah.
The most successful business that I've had
Yeah.
is the one that I'm in the process of selling now, which
Yes.
is Heat for Less.
Yeah.
It's an international infrared heater that I designed. It is truly the best of the best, and I can prove it. And so I worked hard to make it that way. So I bought a bunch of other brands. I looked at things that weren't good on those, things I liked good on others, and then I invented 2 things on mine that others didn't have. I was going to get patents, went to get patents, and they said, well, how long have you been selling it like this? I said, well, for 2 years. Well,
Yeah.
you have to get the patent within 6 months.
Right.
Of production, or you can't get
Oops.
a patent. And it's like, there's 2 patents I could have had and didn't.
Oops.
Yeah. So mine truly is the best, and it makes 2 times more heat than almost every other one using the same amount of electricity. So how did that happen? And because of that, and I stuck with that one thing, and I went to stores
Yeah.
and spoke with store owners and managers and picked up accounts that way, started going to hardware shows and picking up accounts that way. And even just driving around and just stopping into businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, we have vacuum cleaner stores that sell our product.
A sun
furniture.
bathing place. You go get suntan.
Yeah, oh yeah.
A tanning bed
Tanning salon. Yeah, yeah.
That was
all
one of our
kinds
biggest accounts.
A restaurant was one of our
restaurant.
business. How we started the business.
Yeah.
I was in a restaurant, and so I stuck with it, and it has become extremely successful. And that is what has enabled us to buy the other businesses and now
Yes.
get into filming as we are.
Right. And that was something I was going to say as you were talking, is that when you need to be good at something, like really deep, if you want more than one business, it's okay, but you have to take your time. And that's exactly what you explained. Like, you can't see a business idea, start that, then go start another one and another one. I have a friend, for example, he is in the coffee business.
Right.
He has his own coffee shop. So he started out, he renovated a horse trailer, sold coffee in a rented parking lot, did so well that he was able to buy a building. He sold it from a building. And in 2 years, he went from a coffee trailer to owning 3 different brick and mortar locations.
Yeah.
And that's very fast.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a very specific, it was
Right.
all coffee. He figured out the formula.
That's right.
And it worked. And
Right.
so he could duplicate that.
That's right.
For what we've done, I mean, with our experience in many different things, it didn't happen like that overnight. It was, the heater company took
Took years.
so
It
long
took
to
probably
get.
4 years before it became something significant.
Yeah. So that took a while. And then when we bought the horse ranch,
Yeah.
that was a brand new business.
Yeah.
That took years
Yeah.
to kind of figure out
Yeah. You
how
have to figure out how to deal with the horses,
the people.
and you need to figure out how to deal with the people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy.
No.
That was one of the more difficult businesses
It
I'm
was.
thinking here.
It was. And I want to say it's because you and I never grew up interested in horses. Not
Yeah.
that we don't like them, but
Right.
that's not our passion.
That's a good point.
At the same time, I am not passionate about heaters
Right.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, you've become passionate
Yeah.
about them because it was your business.
Yeah.
And you were very convinced that you made something
That would
amazing.
be successful. And I think that, I just wonder, and I was sitting here thinking about this, it's like when I grew up, my dad was not very good with managing money. And he would get paid once a week, every Friday, and come Monday, he didn't have any money.
Oh, my.
Yeah. And so there have been a number of times when there was no oil in the heater and we had no heat, and we're in the middle of the wintertime. And I remember one morning waking up, I could see my breath. It was that cold. So the pipes froze, they broke, we lost water, the heater didn't work. I mean, it was a mess. It was a mess. And so at that, I just remember thinking then, it's like, I'm never going to live like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to live in a warm house. So here I am selling heaters, and our house is always warm.
Wow, that came full circle. That's a good story.
You just wonder. I mean, maybe subconsciously, that's why I enjoyed making a great heater, is because I grew up in that situation.
That very well could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next business, after buying the horse farm, we did the corn maze. So that all happened very quickly. Within 2 years, we went from one business to three.
Right. Yeah.
And then we started pursuing our career in reality TV. So there's business number 4 coming into play. Yeah. But we had, last year was our 20th year combined in the corn maze industry. Yeah. So we already had the experience. It's not like we started all these businesses at the same time, learning from the ground up for all of them.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So, other times that I had to say no. So, from the time I was a teenager into my 30s, people would always encourage me to be a pastor.
Okay.
And I said no every time, and it was never even tempting.
Every time?
Except, youth pastor, but like
that counts.
A senior pastor.
Okay.
And one is just as important as the other. I don't mean that. But they were asked, I was asked that you should pastor a church.
Okay. And
I never had the desire to do that ever.
Okay.
The thought of coming up with a new sermon every week was torture. I just couldn't do it. I hate school. I hate studying. That is not me. Huh?
Me too. I didn't like school.
So
here we are, creating a podcast topic every week.
Well, but we don't need to read to study it. We're just sharing things we've learned.
This is true.
Yeah. So,
okay, but that's an easy no for you because you didn't have a desire for that. I think
that's right.
What we really need to talk about is making a decision, saying no to something that you do enjoy or that is something that you might want to do.
Right.
So, do you have an example?
Sure.
Okay.
So, I like golfing, and I like bowling, and I don't do either of them hardly ever.
Okay.
Because they take up so much time. I like to join a bowling league.
Oh.
I used to be in a bowling league. And
how many years ago?
That was pretty good.
How many years ago?
40.
Your calculator.
40, yeah. There were 10 pins back then. And there's 10 today, too. That's right.
You're so funny.
But there are things that I would enjoy doing, but there are other things I'd rather do more. And I know that if I allow myself to just go down all these rabbit holes and do all these fun things like this, I wouldn't be able to. I am in the last chapter of my life, maybe next to the last chapter of my life. And it's like, I know that my time is limited, and there are things that I really, really, really want to do.
Okay.
To the point where it is easy for me to say no to things because there are things I really want to do.
And bowling's not one of them.
Bowling is not one.
Okay.
So, the reality show will get me to one of them.
Yes.
And that is talking with large groups of people about how to enjoy life to the fullest extent possible.
Yeah. You want to make a positive impact.
That
with the most impact.
Yeah, the most impact.
Yes.
Right. And the other thing I want to do is build...
Oh, gosh. A resort.
A resort.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
I've been working on this. Well, I started working on it 24 years ago.
I know.
And I haven't worked on it much the last few years because I have everything I need to know as far as I know where to put it, what I'm putting there, how to build it, and all the rest. But it was a matter of money. And so now that's why I'm pursuing, like the heater business was easy to pursue because it made money and is making money and helping me to get closer to that.
Right.
But I need to go from hundreds of thousands to millions.
Yeah.
And I hope that the TV show is that successful for us. It may not be.
Right.
But I hope that it is because I would really love to build this resort.
Yeah.
And the positive impact that it will have with families and people is awesome. And
I love that I'm now old enough. I'm kind of glad it didn't happen when it did because I would have been like 7.
Yeah.
Now that I'm in my 30s and I love designing,
you would be a great asset.
Love to help
Yeah.
make that a reality.
Well, when we build that now, it'll be a lot prettier and nicer than it would be when you were 7. And I did it without you because I just went.
There would have been a lot of purple dresses.
That's what I was thinking. A lot of purple dressers.
Okay, so here's the plug for our reality show, season 1, episode 1. You get to see a really quick picture of a purple dresser I painted when I was about 7. Well, maybe I was maybe 10 at that time. So yeah, had I designed your resort, it would have been purple dressers with blue stars on it. Yeah. It would have been some. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
So yeah.
So I guess the show, the reality show, the update that we can give today is not going to be as current as when you listen to this, because this is going to come out a week or 2 later. Yep. But our current update is that the first episode is completely done. All the coloring, the sound, and the storyline has all been completely edited. It's
100% ready for television.
Yes. And this morning, we got the pitch deck. So for those of you who don't know, because I didn't know till recently, a pitch deck is kind of like a digital brochure. It's 4 pages. Ours is 4 pages. Yeah. And it highlights us, our show. It has a bio explaining who we are, our past experience, and how that ties into the show. And then the last page highlights our producers and their experience and all that. So the pitch deck, combined with episode 1 for season 1, gets sent off to networks, and that's where the pitching process begins. Yep. And we are in pitch month. Last month and this month are the 2 months that networks buy shows for the whole year. Yeah. And so, thankfully, it got done on time. Yep. And we'll see what happens. I mean, we could literally get a call next week with a contract in hand and then even paid.
It could happen that quickly.
It could happen that quickly is what we're told, but it also could be months. Yeah. It just depends. Yeah. There's really no guarantee of how quickly it'll go.
Well, there sort of is. I mean, we have a star in our
is the sun
reality show
classified as a star?
No. The star is I mean, irresistible. This is an irresistible star in the show, and I'm not saying who it is or anything like that, but I mean, I'm sure that we're going to get picked up quickly.
I'm gonna forget about the whole star thing. You can rewind 2 podcasts back and catch up on that joke or whatever.
That was last week. No, that was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. That was probably my favorite. That was my favorite 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago was a funny podcast.
And one of the girls that was in our youth group when you were
youth pastor that one time.
Yeah, you were really little then, and she's now fully grown and all the rest. And it's like she sent a fan.
Podcasting requires talking clearly.
Okay, she sent, I want to say, fan mail via a digital fan mail to you.
It was a comment on our YouTube podcast.
Okay.
That's not fan mail.
Calling me the star.
She totally did not. She said that she liked me, and you were okay.
Okay.
That was her words.
And we don't share names, Colleen. So
oh, my goodness. Hello, superfan Colleen.
Yeah, superfan Colleen. Well, Nicole is also superfan.
Oh, is she?
And she's going to say that I'm the star.
She's the quiet superfan.
Yeah, if this moon over here doesn't quite glow bright enough, I might have to find another one.
Oh,
maybe it'll just take 2 or 3 moons to equal 1 star. Maybe that's what it is.
So then the next podcast will have a bunch of people on it.
Anyway.
Right. Thank you for tuning in to the Uncommon Success Podcast.
See ya.
Bye.